My name is Johan Quashi, my partner is Trey Whitney, and this is the Acadia National Park. So Acadia is located in Maine, on the Mount Desert Island, which is the largest island off the coast of Maine. Although it looks small on the map, the park encompasses nearly 50,000 acres along the Atlantic coastline of Maine, with 60 miles of coastline, 33 miles of scenic motor roads, 45 miles of carriage roads, and more than 150 miles of hiking trails. So the first inhabitants of the area was the Native Americans, who were here more than 5,000 years ago, and followed by the French and the English. By the 1800s, settlers arrived in large numbers, engaging in fishing, shipbuilding, farming, and lumbering. The affluent turn of the century had a lot to do with preserving the landscape that we know today, and Acadia was actually the first national park created from private lands gifted to the public through the efforts of conservation-minded citizens. These efforts contributed to the creation and development of the land conservation movement that we see today. These continue through the stewardship of what is today the largest conservation easement program in the national park system and generous private philanthropy. So the biome of the region is actually in between two different ecosystems, the northern boreal forest and the eastern deciduous forest. And so the northern boreal are the northernmost forests on the planet. You see a lot of these in like Canada and that sort of area. They're comprised of a lot of conifers, large tracts of intact forest, and industrial forests. These forests are usually used logged for timber and pulp for paper, as well as packaging products. It's typically characterized by long cold winters and short cool summers. And the other part of the park is the eastern deciduous forest, which occurs across the world in the mid-latitudes and are distinguished by mild temperatures, regular rainfall, typically about 30 to 60 inches of rain a year, and 4 distinct seasons of varying temperatures. So what that leads to is you have 4 relatively different seasons in Acadia. They're typically on the colder side, but you can definitely see the differences in seasons. So springtime can be cold, but it also gets warm at the top end. Temperatures range from 30 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Fog and rain are common. Most of the trails are open throughout the spring. A lot of people like going in the spring, especially for the scenic view. But the summer, the Precipice Trail is closed due to the nesting of peregrine falcons and that preservation attempt. It gets quite warm, in between 50 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit, which isn't that hot, but it's warmer. There's not as much precipitation, still a bit of fog because it's way up north. Most trails are open. A lot of people consider it to be the best time to go to Acadia. However, parking is limited and it gets quite crowded. Autumn, the temperatures tend to average highs in the 50s and lows in the 40s. It varies, especially on top of Cadillac Mountain. This is also a really nice time to go to Acadia, especially due to the color changes of leaves throughout the season. It's really nice. But in the later end of the season, things will start to shut down as you enter the winter, which is extremely cold, ranging from 10 to 30 degrees. Backcountry camping, out of bounds camping, overnight parking, or winter camping is just not allowed. There's quite a few trails that are closed off due to the weather. Lots of ice on the floor, snow. It gets a little bit dangerous on some of the trails at times. Not typically recommended to go. However, there is skiing open. It is limited, but there is open skiing. So you can sort of see the differences in the seasons. You have your spring, your summer, your autumn, and your winter. You can see there's someone skiing right here on the winter trail. And in the autumn, you can see the beautiful colors of the trees, of the reds and the oranges. And yeah. So there's a lot of rules for visiting Acadia. There's no alcohol, no motorized vehicles, no drones, unmanned aircraft, no feeding wildlife, fireworks, marijuana. Pets have to be leashed. You need permits for activities like filming or scientific research and collecting. No hunting or trapping. Contained charcoal and wood fires are allowed only in campgrounds and designated picnic areas. State regulations require that all motorized watercraft are registered, and law requires you to carry a Coast Guard approved life vest for each passenger. Visitors may possess firearms within a national park unit, provided they comply with federal, state, and local laws, and fishing is permitted in accordance with state and Maine laws. Camping is permitted only in designated campsites at Blackwoods, Seawall, Schudic Woods, and Duck Harbor, Isla Hawk campgrounds. The use of pack animals like horses and whatnot in carriages is prohibited on Witch Hole Pond and Paradise Hill loops of the carriage roads, Eagle Lake Loop, and hiking off trails, off routes, and on motor roads. However, you are allowed to use horses and other pack animals on carriage roads except for Western Mountain Connector Trail when the Western Mountain Road and Lurvy Spring Road are closed, motor vehicle roads when closed to motor vehicles, established crosswalks where the following unpaved roads, which are Heo Fire Road, Manowar Brook Fire Road, Marshall Brook Fire Road, and Valley Cove Fire Road. I love a few tips. The Precipice Trail, one of the more popular trails, is notorious for being Acadia's most dangerous hikes. It boasts really impressively high cliffs and tight spaces. Several people have fallen from the cliffs and died. Only attempt this trail if you're proficient in hiking and climbing, and under no circumstances should you hike the Precipice Trail in heavy rain or snow. State regulations require that all motorized watercraft are registered and you need to have life vests, and the possession, injury, destruction, removal, or disturbance of park property or natural resources, including animals, plants, minerals, and archaeological objects, is prohibited. This includes collecting rocks, cobbles, plants, marine organisms, other natural materials, and historic objects and artifacts. There's quite a lot of flora in Acadia. One of the more prominent ones is evergreen trees or conifers. They keep their deep green leaves or needles year-round. These are sort of what you see for Christmas trees. This is really significant because if birds want to nest in these trees, they're safe from predators and weathers. Many branches give plenty of birds and small animals a home, especially in winter, when predators can easily spot them in a leafless deciduous tree landscape. So that's really significant. Other flora in Acadia is the red-belted polypores and just fungi in general. These are large red-rimmed fungi that can be frequently spotted peeking out from the trunks of Acadia's coniferous trees. They're decomposers. Some break down dead matter into nutrients to be used by other growth, and they provide another lesser-known link in the web of life as well. Lichen is a partnership between 2 or more living things, usually a species of fungi benefiting from 1 or more plant-like organisms, so like cyanobacteria. On a microscopic scale, lichen have a protective fungal layer that prevents the algal layer from drying out. This allows the photosynthetic partner, or photobiont, to survive in dry conditions. This is also really significant. Fauna, or animals in Acadia, you have foxes, which play an important role in the ecosystem, hunting and keeping the population of prey like rodents down. Bats feed on thousands of insects, which are really important for Acadia. Many of them considered nuisances, and the bats do an excellent job of keeping their numbers down. They're also a very important research species in the park because of their dramatic population decline as a result of white nose syndrome. Bat species in Acadia have actually declined over 80%. Harbor porpoise are an aquatic animal in Acadia. They travel in groups up to 10, and they occasionally come close to boats as they swim around underneath them. They eat school fish, but sometimes they will eat squid or octopus, and it is rare and unlucky to see them from the bay or the shore. Now, the major attractions of Acadia National Park. So there's quite a few. Some of the more significant ones are Park Loop Road, Sand Beach, Thunderhole, Otter Cliffs, Jordan Pond, and the downtown Bar Harbor. For instance, the Jordan Pond is a 3.1-mile hike through beautiful woods overlooking water and Bubble Mountains. It's one of the park's most pristine lakes with outstanding surrounding mountain scenery. You also have the Thunderhole, which is a carved-out inlet along the rocky eastern shoreline of Mount Desert Island. You can reach Thunderhole by driving to Park Loop Road or walking along an ocean path. The Sand Beach is another popular summertime destination on Park Loop Road, and it's the largest sandy beach in all of Acadia. Another trail, these are the most popular trails, like the Beehive, Precipice, and South Bubble. The Beehive Trail is the most popular trail in all of Acadia. It's a pretty difficult 450-foot trail with a stunning view, absolutely gorgeous. The Precipice Trail is a notoriously difficult but rewarding hike, climbing 1,000 feet in just under a mile, but it has a very beautiful view. The South Bubble Trail is a 1.5-mile fun loop hike up to the top of a rocky mountain called South Bubble. It has a really cool large glacial erratic left over from the last ice age, and this is another one of the more popular trails. More attractions include the Bass Harbor Head House, one of the 3 light stations in Acadia. It's a 4-mile out and back draw, generally considered a pretty easy route. You have the carriage roads for biking, which is 45 miles of rustic carriage roads, accessible for horses, bikes, and pedestrians. Then you also have the Bar Harbor, which is the town home. It's home to many restaurants and local stores. There's hotels and villages for you to stay at during your travel here at Acadia. Very nice place. There are some problems that affect Acadia National Park, such as diseases and pests, such as the red pine scale and the hemlock woolly adelaide. These threaten the health and wellness of specific species of Acadia trees. The park is also weakened by climate change and other factors. Some of the tree species are being pushed to the brink of elimination, which could change Acadia's forest forever. Air pollution obviously has a major effect on trees and wildlife. Biggest causes of air pollution is polluted air being blown by the wind from nearby urban centers and getting trapped in the national park, which is really dangerous and harmful towards the ecosystem. Overall, Acadia National Park is remarkable, has a lot of biodiversity. The delicate balance required to protect its ecosystems is pretty interesting. From its diverse habitats, from coastal shorelines to dense forests, Acadia is a testament to the importance of conservation in the face of increasing human impact, and its creation actually shows just that. The highlighted challenges faced, including invasive species, climate change, and habitat disruption. Through sustainable management practices such as controlled burning, monitoring invasive species, and enhancing public awareness, Acadia can continue to thrive as a haven for wildlife and visitors alike. It is essential that we prioritize the protection of such invaluable natural areas, not only to preserve their beauty, but also to maintain the critical ecological services they provide. The lessons learned from studying Acadia National Park can serve as a model for other national parks and natural spaces worldwide, urging us to act with urgency and safeguarding our planet's most treasured environments for future generations. Thank you.